Have you ever noticed how the biggest secrets always seem to hide in plain sight? Take that one unforgettable moment when Meghan Markle, standing just a few feet away from Queen Elizabeth during a formal ceremony, supposedly had to lean into Prince Harry and whisper, "Who's that next to your grandma?" Really? You are telling me she didn't recognize Prince Andrew? The same Prince Andrew whose face has been plastered on countless magazine covers, who has been a fixture in royal event broadcasts, and who has been seen walking beside the Queen in public for literally decades. No, that story doesn't just feel off, it feels impossible. Either Meghan Markle was the single most clueless royal girlfriend in the entire history of the monarchy, or she was performing, playing dumb for an audience of one, or perhaps for the entire world. You see, this investigation isn't about one single awkward question at a high profile event. This is about a long, intricate, and deeply disturbing trail of receipts. It's a trail of powerful connections, questionable private flights, mysteriously scrubbed interviews from the internet, and a series of eyebrow-raising coincidences that, when laid out together, start to make you ask a much darker question. Did Meghan really not know Andrew, or did she, in fact, know him far, far too well? Let's rewind the clock to a cold winter evening over a decade ago, a time before anyone knew the name Meghan Markle. One UK journalist vividly remembers being invited for a drink with her, back when she was still a relatively unknown actress, hungry for fame and absolutely desperate to crack the influential British press. No other journalist from his publication took the bait, but he did, out of curiosity. And Meghan, according to his detailed account, was not the confident, outspoken Duchess we see today. He described her as quiet, watchful, and intensely calculating. She spoke at length about her messy divorce and her struggling love life, painting a picture of vulnerability. Then, she casually brought up the name Ashley Cole, the famous English footballer who was notorious at the time for his wild lifestyle and his very public, very messy breakup with the singer Cheryl. The very second she realized that the journalist knew all the inside details of Ashley's private life, her entire demeanor shifted. Her face dropped. It became clear she wasn't there to find a date or share her sorrows. She was scouting for press plugs. She wanted to be seen, to be linked to someone famous in the UK, and a high-profile figure like Ashley Cole was just a potential stepping stone on her path to celebrity. This was not a chance encounter, it was a calculated move. That calculated pattern of strategic networking doesn't stop there. Meghan has always publicly claimed she spent a semester studying abroad in Argentina during her college years. That's fair enough, a common part of many students' experience. But it turns out that she went straight from that short stint in Buenos Aires to another extended stay in Spain. This was not part of any official school exchange program, and there is absolutely no public record or mention of a host family. And yet, years later, the university overseas posted proudly on its website about having hosted the now famous Meghan Markle. But Meghan herself, in all her interviews and writings, never, ever talks about it. Why the silence? Could it be because those months were allegedly spent traveling, yachting across the Mediterranean, and moving in elite, powerful circles that most college students don't get anywhere near without a billionaire's personal invitation? This is where the story truly takes a dark and mysterious turn. According to her former sorority sisters from Northwestern University, Meghan went completely off-grid back in 2001. She told friends at the time that she was traveling in Thailand with a group of wealthy, influential men. And a name that consistently and troublingly pops up in connection with that specific period is Yuan Elias. Now, he's not a name you'll hear on the evening news, but in elite, powerful circles, he is very well known. He is known to be incredibly close to Prince Andrew, like, very close, the kind of close where they go on private trips together, including, as records show, a trip to Thailand in 2001. Now, just imagine this scenario for a moment. A young Meghan Markle, supposedly a broke college student, is leaving her university mid-semester to embark on adventures aboard luxury yachts across the globe. Meanwhile, this very same Yuan Elias is known to have shown up at Meghan's own sorority parties back in the United States, rubbing shoulders with starstruck young students. Are you starting to see the intricate web being woven? Because it only gets messy from here. Fast forward to 2012. Meghan suddenly pops up in Hong Kong. At this point in her career, she is not exactly a major star, and her television show Suits wasn't even that big yet. But there she is, flying business class, receiving first-class treatment, and giving flashy interviews to local media. And apparently, there was royalty in the building. There's a video clip that used to exist online, but has now been mysteriously scrubbed from the internet, where Meghan casually mentions that royals were around during her visit to Hong Kong. Do you want to guess who else was officially confirmed to be in Hong Kong at that exact same time? Yes, Prince Andrew. Now, to be clear, nobody is saying they officially met up. But importantly, nobody is denying it either, especially not Meghan, who has remained suspiciously and completely silent about that entire trip ever since. There is something almost eerie about how many exclusive, high-security doors Meghan Markle managed to walk right through, long before anyone in the mainstream media even knew her name. Take, for example, the 2013 Novak Djokovic Foundation Gala in New York City. This was a charity event so exclusive it drew an actual royalty, global fashion icons, and Hollywood's absolute elite. The guest list was a who's who of global power: Goldie Hawn, Naomi Campbell, Anna Wintour, Prince Andrew, his ex-wife Fergie, and his daughter Princess Eugenie. Everyone who was anyone was there. And tucked somewhere in the background of it all, an invisible guest, was Meghan Markle. But here is the kicker. There are no official photographs of her at the event. None. Not a single one. There are only persistent whispers from insiders that she was present somehow. That she managed to get in through her powerful, unseen connections, not through her own professional credentials. She wasn't a headliner. She wasn't a major donor. She wasn't even on the official guest list as far as the press coverage goes. But she was there. How does a then minor TV actress from Suits, who, as records show, had barely 134 minutes of total screen time that entire season, land herself in a sea of billionaires, designers, royals, and global power brokers? At that exact same time, Prince Andrew was supposedly on an official, taxpayer-funded trip to Southeast Asia. And yet, he was suddenly spotted in New York, whining and dining with his daughter Eugenie just as Meghan miraculously showed up in the very same elite spaces. No press coverage, no official statements, just a quiet, repeating pattern of both of them existing in the same exclusive places at the same time. Then, of course, there's the Soho House connection, which was effectively Meghan's golden ticket to the elite international club scene. Soho House wasn't just a fancy place to hang out. It was a critical networking portal for the rich, the famous, and the strategically ambitious. Prince Harry, Prince Andrew, Fergie, and Eugenie were all known to frequent those circles. And Meghan? She practically lived in those spaces long before she ever became a royal. She was at the fashion parties, the exclusive charity galas, the yacht events, and the private, members-only cocktail nights. She was always in the mix, yet somehow always on the very edge of visibility. She was seen just enough to make an impression, but never enough to raise any difficult questions. When Meghan flew to Turkey in 2015 for the grand opening of Soho House Istanbul, the press didn't even know who she was. A photo surfaced online of her standing next to the Oscar-winning actor Eddie Redmayne, but when the Daily Mail reported on the picture, they listed every single celebrity by name, except for her. She was so unknown, they didn't even bother to look her up. That's not just anonymity, that's calculated obscurity. She was in the right place, with the right people, but consistently left no fingerprints behind. And yet, behind every single one of these mysterious appearances, one name always seems to float nearby: Andrew. Whether it's Andrew himself attending the same closed-door events or his closest associates, like Yuan Elias, popping up in Meghan's early years, the network is undeniably tight. Yuan wasn't just some casual billionaire, he was Epstein-level connected. He funded, hosted, and traveled with figures like Prince Andrew. And his access to Meghan's sorority was absolutely no coincidence. He liked that scene. He was known to pull young women from that exact social bubble and show them the glamorous, intoxicating side of global wealth. Meghan fit the mold perfectly: attractive, ambitious, driven, and more than willing to move in silence. And it wasn't just Andrew's people. Meghan was also linked to figures like Karine Chiliak, who was reportedly one of Jeffrey Epstein's last serious girlfriends. There is actual photographic evidence of Meghan on a yacht trip in the Mediterranean alongside Karine and, of all people, the spiritual guru Deepak Chopra. And yes, you heard that right, Deepak Chopra, the very same man who posted publicly in 2021 about mentoring women for Meghan's 40th birthday initiative. But guess what? His name also shows up in leaked documents connected to Epstein's secret charitable networks, which were allegedly used for questionable purposes. So now we have Meghan, Karine, Deepak, and other elites yachting together on the Mediterranean, and we're supposed to believe that's just a coincidence? Just to stir the pot even more, remember the infamous Jamaica wedding? The one where Harry flew economy class and Meghan arrived on a private jet, courtesy of Soho House co-owner Ron Burkle. Princess Eugenie was there, Fergie was there, and Prince Andrew was reportedly there as well. But again, no photos of him. They didn't want to be seen. The press focused entirely on the budding romance of Harry and Meghan, but insiders knew the Yorks were hovering just behind the scenes. Are you starting to see it now? Meghan wasn't fumbling her way into royal life. She was weaving her way through powerful circles for years before her public debut. She was linked to shady billionaires, whispered about in closed-door charity circuits, and conveniently popping up wherever Andrew and his people were. This wasn't a fairy tale, it was a strategy. And when you step back and look at the big picture, you realize Meghan didn't just stumble into royalty. She maneuvered into it with precision, with unparalleled access, and with a trail of dark connections that all point back to one deeply uncomfortable truth.